If you pay for Nnamdi Asomugha, the one thing you know you're paying for is a guarantee.
You never really see a guy 6'2", to be honest, who's playing cornerback.
He has long arms, so he can run with anybody in the league. And he puts his hands on you.
In 2016, Nnamdi Asomugha was named the Raiders' best player over the last decade. He's been praised by Bill Belichick, Larry Fitzgerald, Rob Ryan, and more. He's worked with presidents, married a Hollywood actress, and produced an award-winning film. At the top of his game, he was one of the league's best shutdown corners, but a change of scenery revealed some major flaws in his game. So was Nnamdi Asomugha actually overrated the entire time? Or was his fall from grace not really the fault of his own? As with most things, the truth falls somewhere in the middle. Today we're discussing what happened to Nnamdi Asomugha. My name is Flimlo Raps, and if this is your first video, consider subscribing and joining the notification gang. I've got a huge library of videos on what happened to some of your favorite players, and I'm constantly dropping new ones all the time. And if this is not your first video, you already know what time it is. Cue the Wayne. Nnamdi Asomugha was born in Lafayette, Louisiana, and is of Nigerian descent. As a kid, he moved to California and stayed there throughout his college days as he attended the University of Cal. At 6'3", 210, Nnamdi had great size for the position, and from the years 2000, 2001, and 2002, Nnamdi recorded 187 tackles, 8 picks, 15 deflections, 3 sacks, and 3 fumble recoveries. As he prepared to go into the NFL, he figured that he should probably learn a little bit about money, so he majored in corporate finance, a major whose primary objective is to teach its students how to maximize shareholders' profits. This would come into play during Nnamdi's football career, and then even heavier after his career was over. Little bit of foreshadowing. When he attended the scouting combine, people were impressed by Nnamdi's size and athleticism. 6'3", now 213 pounds, dude ran a 4.45, recorded a 38-inch vertical, and did 16 reps on the bench. In 2003, he was drafted by the Oakland Raiders in the first round. 31st overall, but still the first round. So they took a free safety who had good size and made him into a corner who has phenomenal size. Now, as shocking as this might sound, the Raiders still had Rod Woodson in 2003, even though he was drafted in the 80s, and he was their starting free safety. Now, Rod was obviously on his last leg, so you'd have thought that they'd have brought in Nnamdi, again a college free safety, to kind of get trained up by Rod before Rod goes ahead and retires. Instead, they decided to move Nnamdi to cornerback. Fortunately for Nnamdi, Charles Woodson was there to help him with the transition. The Raiders ended up drafting another safety the following year, and they brought in veteran Ray Buchanan to come in and train him up. So I guess they just really wanted Nnamdi at corner, and in the years to come, we'd all see why. Nnamdi didn't play much during his first few years as he got comfortable at his new position. By 2005 though, he started every game, and by 2006, he looked like one of the most dominant cornerbacks in the NFL. Just that quick. Nnamdi recorded 8 interceptions that year, and only 2 corners in the entire league had more picks than he did. That's Asante Samuel and Champ Bailey. Nnamdi would end up being named All-Pro, but the rest of the Raiders team looked like all amateurs as the squad went 2-14, and losing seasons was something that would just become normal for Nnamdi throughout the course of his career with the Raiders. After that All-Pro season, the legend of Nnamdi was born. With that being said, he would only have one more multi-pick season in his entire career. But that was no problem because Nnamdi's brand became this. QBs were scared to throw at him. He had elite size, decent speed, and a wingspan that allowed him to jam and redirect wide receivers with ease. His most impressive attribute, however, was his IQ. He was known for being a generally intelligent guy just in all things, but this also carried over to the football field. Nnamdi could easily diagnose routes based on alignments, tendencies, and situations. All these traits kind of came together and just made this dude damn near impossible to deal with. In 2007, QBs only threw toward Nnamdi 31 times in the entire season. Kind of hard to rack up a whole bunch of interceptions with so few targets. And unlike, say, a Deion Sanders, Nnamdi was never interested in baiting QBs. He would just stick to the receiver like glue and wouldn't even let you think you was open for a second. In 2007, he only gave up 10 completions all year. All right, now Think about this, bro. 10 completions all year. There have been plenty of receivers to make 10 catches in one game. Only giving up 10 catches in one season seems unbelievable, but guess what? The next year, 2008, he'd one up that. In 08, QBs only tested Nnamdi 27 times, 4 times less than the season before. This time he only gave up 8 receptions, and only 2 receivers would catch more than 1 pass on this dude in the entire season. That was Randy Moss and Tony Gonzalez. At this point in his career, Nnamdi was starting to stack up Pro Bowls and All Pros. In 09, the corporate finance manager became the highest paid DB in NFL history, negotiating a deal that paid him $28 million fully guaranteed for 2 years, and in the 3rd year, the Raiders would have to pay him the average of the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks, or $16.8 million. That is such a strange and specific stipulation, like the average of the top 5 quarterbacks, but yo, that's what it was. And if they didn't want to do that, then Nnamdi could walk. Over the next couple of years, Nnamdi continued to be a true shutdown corner. In 2009, he gave up 13 completions, Pro Bowl. In 2010, he only gave up 10 completions and did not give up a single touchdown all season. Nnamdi was heaped praise from his teammates and his opponents alike. Bill Belichick said during the 2009 season that Nnamdi was as complete a cornerback as he had seen all year. Gary Kubiak said that Nnamdi was the best corner he'd seen. He's big, he's fast. They put him out there on the island the whole game. He's an exceptional player. Rob Ryan said this guy is truly unbelievable. He made himself the best corner in football by his work ethic, the way he studies tape, and he's so damn smart. Charles Woodson, he turned into what they call that shutdown corner. People just decide going into the game that they weren't gonna throw at him. That's a testament to his hard work. Deion Sanders called him a man after his own heart. Pete Carroll said he's got extraordinary speed. He's exactly what you're looking for a press corner and is about as good as you can hope a guy to be. Larry Fitzgerald said the thing that you see on tape for a man of his size is that he's got incredible hips and amazingly quick feet. His God-given ability to be that tall and to be able to move and cut and drive to the ball the way he does. So with all of that being said, why would anybody call this man overrated? Well, the knock against Nnamdi was that he didn't travel. Not that he was scared to get in an airplane, but that he did not follow the #1 receiver all over the field. And not only did he not shadow the best wide receiver, he played the right corner, which is considered the easier of the two very difficult positions. That's because the majority of quarterbacks are right-handed and therefore throw to their right, aka the defense's left, way more often. During the 2010 and 2011 season, the only right-handed QB who threw to his left as much as his right was Peyton Manning. Everybody else attacked the left corner on every team more. So just by playing the right corner, Nnamdi was gonna already get less targets. To be fair, during his career, he got less targets than anybody to play the position within like the last 10 years. But the point that he played the right corner is a fair one. Nnamdi was often compared to legendary shutdown corner Darrelle Revis. People would argue that Revis would make a bigger impact on his defenses as a whole because he would track his guy all over the field. In 2010, Revis played 204 snaps at right corner, 442 snaps at left corner, and 116 snaps in the slot. Meanwhile, in that same year, Nnamdi played 643 snaps on the right, only 43 on the left, only 73 in the slot. And again, that was in 2010, which was the year that Nnamdi traveled more than he did in any other season of his entire career. So that was the big knock against Nnamdi. People argue that Revis was better because he disrupted your entire offense. It's a lot more difficult to game plan against it. He's gonna just follow your best receiver. Meanwhile, Nnamdi's just sitting on one side of the field. You could just plan to go to the side that you like to go to anyway. And quarterbacks like Vince Young have been quoted saying that his coaches told him, don't even look over there where Nnamdi is. Why would you even do that? The Raiders were also a perennial losing team during Nnamdi's run, so teams rarely trailed late in games and wouldn't need to take deep shots in an attempt to come back. Raiders opponents were usually already up and would mostly just be running the ball at that point. With all that being said, you cannot deny the fact that Nnamdi Asomugha was one of the greatest man corners. The arguments against him are fair, but bro, if you've given up 10 completions in a whole season, you're a beast. I don't care what you say. Nobody could take that away from this dude. But when he went to the Eagles, That was pretty much a shit show. Nnamdi had allowed like 1 touchdown in his last 3 years in Oakland, but during his 2 seasons in Philly, he gave up 9 TDs. There were a few reasons contributing to this. For one, Nnamdi had obviously gotten older. After spending 8 years in the NFL playing a cornerback position, you are naturally going to decline. So let's first get that out the way, and then we have to address the elephant in the room. Philly decided to take the league's best man corner and have him play zone? Bruh. Many people would argue that the Eagles' acquisition of Nnamdi never made sense in the first place. The Eagles were a zone team. This is obviously not where Nnamdi Asomugha excels, so why pay him $60 million? The simple solution to the problem seemed to be just run man. Well, there's another problem with that. The Eagles' other starting corner, Asante Samuel, who led the NFC in interceptions the year before, is a zone corner. He's more of a ball hawk zone corner. Nnamdi was a shutdown man corner. 2 corners with completely opposite skill sets, which sounds cool in theory, but practically it doesn't work. They tried to kind of adjust it and have Nnamdi playing man and Asante playing zone, but it proved too complicated for the rest of the defenders that were on the field, and it was just holes everywhere, missed assignments constantly. Then adding to the issues, they had Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie playing the nickel, which he had never played. So they'd basically taken a Madden approach of just signing talent and saying, cool, we got a 99 overall secondary. But even on Madden, you gotta kind of match a player to the correct scheme in order to get the most out of them. The 2011 NFL lockout also contributed. They didn't really have a whole lot of time to work out exactly how these players were gonna work together. And my dog, I hate to do it to him, but my boy Michael Vick and the media calling this the dream team, it didn't help. So the next year, the Eagles got rid of Asante and played more of a man scheme, you know, to accommodate the $60 million man Nnamdi Asomugha. Only by 2012, the veteran corner had visibly lost a step or two. I think physically and mentally, because the dude had never gotten beat like he did in 2011 during his entire career. We all know at cornerback, confidence is key. I guess that's why they celebrate and talk shit after the quarterback overthrows the pass. So like I said, Nnamdi had lost a step, and losing a step, just a single step at corner, you can go from like the best corner in the league to getting exposed constantly. It is a unbelievably difficult position to play. So in 2012, after the Eagles traded away Asante, QBs targeting Nnamdi had a passer rating of 120.6. In case you don't know what that means, just understand this stat reflects a horrible, like an all-time terrible performance by Nnamdi Asomugha. In just a couple of years, he had one of the steepest declines in NFL history. His relationship with his teammates was in turmoil as he took a ton of the blame for the Eagles' woes, seeing as how he was one of the highest paid players on the team. His reputation was in shambles, as many were now calling him one of the most overrated players ever. The Eagles ended up cutting Nnamdi after the 2012 season. Then after a very brief stint with the 49ers, Nnamdi signed a 1-day contract with Oakland so that he could retire as a Raider. Once Nnamdi went to Philly, his career pretty much fizzled out almost immediately. But during his time in Oakland, he was one of the best shutdown corners I've personally ever seen. Nnamdi always knew football wouldn't last forever, and in the middle of his playing days, 2008, while he was still dominant, he began his acting career. He landed roles in The Game, Friday Night Lights, Leverage, and Fire with Fire alongside Bruce Willis. He also began writing and selling scripts, executive produced Beast of No Nation, and produced and starred in a film called Crown Heights that dropped back in 2017. That film won the Audience Award for the Best Dramatic Film, making Nnamdi one of the breakout stars of the 2017 Sundance Film Festival. He married actress Kerry Washington in 2013, worked with Bill Clinton on global activism, and is all around that dude, no matter what anybody tell you. That's what happened to Nnamdi Asomugha, and I don't care what happened in Philly, this dude is a football and a post-football GOAT. Believe it. Yeah.